Classy cars are a bit tough to come by these days, and face it, we have now built our cars to be the edgy version of that one S that you used to draw in middle school with 4 wheels. Like, think about that for a second, because really as you build your car, you're gonna realize that's what it's all about. It's all about being angry, right?
Being mean.
Being super fast. Or at least looking super fast. So the world has now been dominated with cars that feature headlights the size of that free flashlight you once got from the trade show, and those grills that you could probably throw a 20-ounce tenderloin on and still have space for potatoes. I am saying this in all honesty, BMW, calm down with the kidney grill, okay? It's gonna be okay to change it up. Nobody's gonna be mad. I'm Alex, alex.fi on Instagram, and today we're gonna be taking it back to a nostalgic meal your mom makes every time you come visit. There is a car platform just like it that's kept it clean, kept it classy, kept it looking like a snack with 2 C's, okay? A car that has, without a doubt, become the one of the only cars to get when it comes to the VIP car scene. A car that is like the poster boy of Suicide Boy tracks right now for TikTok videos. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about you wanting to own a Lexus LS400.
Or you can man the f up, put yourself on some coilovers, slam the ground, and be baller as hell and stun on some homies.
And if you're just jumping into this channel for the first time, hello. Look me in the eyes. Wash your damn hands, okay? Don't touch your face, and don't forget to subscribe so we can keep making banging videos like this. And if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension for your Lexus LS400 that you just acquired, or any other vehicle that you're possibly looking to build right now since you're stuck at home and you have a garage build that you need to get done, but you're not gonna get done because you're procrastinating, check us out over at fitmentindustries.com, where we literally have everything from work to rotiform, BC coilovers, airlift, all that sort of good stuff. And on top of that, we partner with Airlift to do a giveaway this month. You can enter in to win, pick up one of these, or a t-shirt or sweatshirt. Sweatshirt's super dope. And every $5 gets you an automatic entry in to win. And we're gonna be making a donation at the end of the giveaway. Plus, we pretty much have everything. Literally, I'm not even kidding you, like heritage and stuff too. Volk, pretty neat. The F1 flagship, AKA number 1, AKA Circle F, or LS400 as it's now known, started out as Lexus's flagship model for their introduction into the global market to go into the ring with brands like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Jaguar, okay? Don't say Jaguar. The car had no timeline for initial creation. It had no strict budget. It had no major outline other than to beat the other cars out there, and that's pretty much what they aimed to do, with the end result being near $1 billion design process and 5 years of development. The Lexus LS, or Luxury Sedan Series, was born, had a brand new heartbeat in there, brand new motor that had never been seen before, luxury features that not many out there had at the time, okay? And was ultimately the reason that Lexus was even put on the map and had such incredible success in the market right when it went out the door. But it did take a couple 2-3 pennies for that to actually happen. There were over 1,400 engineers on the project, over 2,300 technicians just on the creation of this Circle F, 220 support people just to be there in case somebody needed, you know, a shoulder to cry on in case something went bad. And over 450 vehicle prototypes were made until they got to the final revision. They had 900 different engine variants, 2.7 million kilometers in testing. I am not getting loud, but fuck, man, that's a lot of shit.
Watch your profanity.
Toyota gave Lexus a blank check, and Lexus used every single penny on this car. And it was birthed in Tahara, Aichi, which sounds weird when I say it like that, but it was the only thing I could come up with at the time. The Lexus LS series began entering the world in 1989. They took everything they learned from their study programs from Laguna Beach, California, which they actually just sat and watched people, which is a little bit creepy when you think about it, and sent it off into the world. The Lexus LS400 hit the market with a price tag of right around $35,000, which was insanely undercutting the competition of BMW and Mercedes-Benz at the time, and just just upset about everyone. BMW was even angry enough to claim that they were selling the car below cost and was actually hemorrhaging the brand. The world never really experienced a Japanese luxury car like this that had a price tag like that. And it was insane. Not only that, but the first generation LS400 has new technology like SRS airbags and tilt electronic steering wheels and power adjustable shoulder seat belts. Like, let me just, wow, all right? And it had a chromic rearview mirror, which, I mean, sure. Not only that, but the fancy interior and a leather interior made it just about as good as the other OGs in the game, if not better, because you didn't have to worry about it blowing up. You could even get the car with gold badging and air suspension if you wanted to be the cool middle-aged adult that lived in SoCal. The biggest thing with this car, though, was that both literally and figuratively was the fact that it was a big boy. It was wide, it was large and in charge. It was a car that could fit 5 people, like adults, reliably. It could be reliable to drive and not terrible to work on because it was still a Toyota. These were all things that the other competitors just couldn't deal with. And Lexus was even faster to improve the car as feedback came in. Even when Lexus was faced with voluntary recalls, Lexus pivoted that whole thing and used it as an opportunity to show the world how incredible their customer service team was at the time. And it was touted as one of the best experiences any voluntary recall ever took place in the industry. Lexus was becoming the goody two-shoes that transferred into a new public school that you're judging silently from the back of the class. It was just, they were too good. Additional generations would come out for the LS400 with a constant eye looking behind the first generation LS400, which was something that Japanese car companies have a real focus towards doing. When you look at Kazuo Okamoto, Dakota, try finding that picture, chief designer for the LS400, stated that a tradition cannot be founded if you reject the first generation. That was the attitude that Lexus carried on this flagship car and their launch into the world. Everything they did was to try and capture and show their perfection and respect to the craft of building a car, something that wasn't really publicly talked about in the US market. It was more about the person. It was more about that the car was a facet of a person's personality, whereas the Lexus and the LS400 was a car that demanded respect in its own regards, but helped you along the way. The newer generations would get a bit more boxy. They get cleaner, optimized it using feedback from dealerships, repair shops, and consumers, because ultimately it still was a brand new car, and it still had a few quirks and features that needed to get fixed. But just like the goody two-shoes in public school, eventually he did run into a teacher that didn't like him. One of my good friends, Michael, experienced that with Mrs. Richardson in English class. The second generation, while better in almost every way, was now fighting for its life with tariffs and potentially getting hit on their flagship vehicle, which would have taken the price of that car from $51,000 almost all the way up to $100,000. Needless to say, because of the impending doom and the constant pressure of battling the yen to the USD at the time, the second generation LS400 didn't have as much success as the initial generation because it just didn't have as much money. The second generation, the transmission would receive an extra gear, engine would become even further refined, bumping it up to a hair under 300 horsepower, and the technology became even more fancy for the Japanese luxury maker. The 400 would inevitably be replaced by the 430, which would carry the LS lineage up into the 2000s and continue to be the company's flagship vehicle until, well, I mean, then they came out with the 460s, which are pretty cool, even bigger. And now Lexus has the LS500, which is pretty much a spaceship. But we're not here to talk about just the history of the LS400. Oh no. If you want that, just turn your cereal box around and learn some fun facts while you cut out your box top. I don't even know if they still do that, but I feel like I may have aged myself and I feel uncomfortable. No, we're here to talk about you wanting to own one of these bad boys. So you want a Lexus LS400. Well, all right, set down your 3-piece wheels and grab your favorite chrome cleaner because we're about to talk what it's like to actually own one of these massive, beautiful 90s Japanese luxury vehicles is actually like. And this is a run-on sentence, but I'm just so excited because these cars are bangers. The Lexus LS400, from the point of just a reliability standpoint, not even modifying them, just reliability, is just like cheating the system. The cars are incredibly bulletproof, with the exception of ensuring you get the power steering pump replaced and keep an eye on the electronics, because just like every other car in the world that came out in the 90s, electronics can get a little bit, you know, funky. Another potential pain point could be the EGR, which is an exhaust gas recirculation thingy, and the good old starter. Besides that, these are cars that are about as comfortable as you can get and have a price point that makes them available for pretty much any type of enthusiast out there. Now, the LS400s are known for being bulletproof. They're known for being one of the most reliable vehicles you can get out there, and that is why sometimes the prices can be a little bit higher. But not many people know that, especially older individuals. The LS400s feature a motor and transmission that refuses to die. The body style was revolutionary at the time, then got hit with the old date stick, but now has actually hit the perfect look for modifying, especially in 2020, because it is a boxy big car. In terms of workmanship and quality, the LS400 is like your grandmother's cookies. They just don't ever disappoint. Lexus gets a ton of love, and it's almost all for good reason. They're just simply good cars, and even as a used car, they're still a good car. The community for the LS400 is awesome as well, but don't buy these cars and expect them that you're gonna be like, you know, super fast. People buy LS400s to turn them into comfortable daily drivers. They turn them into VIP cruisers, or they turn them into clean stance cars, but they aren't a car you'd buy to brag about speed. If you do that, you're just going to end up having a few question mark pings thrown at you when you try bragging about it into the community, because that's not what they're meant to do. Most people that pick up these cars end up going with air suspension because they just look good, or they end up going static with BC coilovers, stretchier tires like Nankangs and Federals, and go straight to 3-piece wheels if they can afford it. Now, most people will end up running 1-piece at least for a season or two, but they'll end up finding themselves picking up at least a blocky 5-spoke or 6-spoke because blocky style wheels look best on these cars. You'll see a ton of Lexus LS community people going into the WEDs, Work, SSR, and other Japanese wheel brands because of how well blocky wheels complement the blocky body style, and to make it more period correct to the fact that the car came from Japan and the wheels are also from Japan. Parts are common for this platform through OE suppliers, and junkyards will still have a few early generation body styles floating around for quick, cheap parts if you need them. Granted that it's still a glorified Toyota, so you're still gonna get incredibly reliable platforms without necessarily having to worry about, well, anything. I mean, you pretty much are gonna find your way around the engine, interior, and even the electronics really kind of sort of easily because it's still a Toyota. They're not as scary as the competitor counterparts like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, or even Porsche. The LS400 was built with the perfect mentality. It was meant to be affordable, well-built, a strong foundation, and craftsmanship with care. It was like the perfect definition of what Japan wanted it to be shown into a car. That mentality is what has allowed this car to survive the last 30 years, and still carries a mentality of people knowing that this is the car for reliability. You type it in on Google and that's the only thing you see people talk about. It is the car for quality, and it was the car to be a fantastic daily driver for an automotive enthusiast that just wants something that won't betray them on the highway and leave them stranded like their project car that's sitting in the garage. Throw it a little bit closer to the ground with some blocky wheels and some thin tires, and there's no foreseeable way you won't be blasting your favorite song with the windows down on a summer day through your favorite back roads, because that's just how this car do. So what do you think about the LS400? Let us know in the comment section below, and of course, let us know what you want to see us talk about next. And if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension for your LS400 or otherwise, be sure to check out fitmentindustries.com, where we literally have it all. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe. We hope you guys are staying safe, that you're having fun, and of course, if you're looking to be less bored, you can check out our gallery. We can see over 30,000 vehicles that have aftermarket wheels, tires, and suspension, so that you can drool over it and figure out how you want to build your Mazda RX-8, which, by the way, if I get asked one more time what fits a Mazda RX-8, I'm gonna cry, because I say it multiple times. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. We will see you later. Peace!